welcome back to my channel, and today we have another review that is probably going to be the last review that I do for a while, just because there isn't anything that I've been wanting to review and money don't grow on trees. Obviously, by the thumbnail and all the purple influence going on in my life, we are going to be reviewing the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Now, I don't know about y'all. I know the Soft Glam was supposed to be like Anastasia's palette, but if we've got a palette named Norvina, I really would like to see a palette named Anastasia, but that's just personally me. The palette is going to run you a sweet $42. I do appreciate Anastasia, once they reach that $42 mark, keeping their palettes a consistent price line, whether they were limited edition or permanent. I do believe that this one is permanent. If I am lying to you right now, obviously I will leave that down below with the link. I purchased mine off of the Anastasia Beverly Hills site. There goes the brush, which I never use anyway. The colors look like this and very much akin to a Lorac Pro. We have a row of mattes and a row of shimmers. I did a hideously simple look today. I just took this color Soul here, obviously did that all around there, and my voice is cracking. But I just did that all around here, and then I took this shade Wild Child and just did that up in the whatever. Like all of Anastasia's palettes, you are getting 14 shades that are 0.02 ounces each. Anastasia's shadows are usually pretty teeny tiny, but so are Lorac's. Alright, we have got the formalities out of the way. I was really drawn to this palette, if for nothing else, and this is going to be really stupid. I mean, can we just discuss this color? I mean, obviously this is like me in palette form, this beautiful like periwinkle purple. I am dying for it. I do believe that Anastasia has said screw you all, and we are now just doing nothing but that faux velvet packaging. But enough of that, let's just get into the shadows, doing some swatches, and we will be discussing my opinions on the palette, the quality, the lineup, color theory, all that. Let's get into it. So instead of going boom, 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 boom like this, let me bring you all what's up? Closer. I am going to be doing like just all the mattes and then all the shimmers. I will obviously be telling you the names of them so we aren't going to get too crazy confused. We're going to start off with this simple shade here, aptly named Base. I see, the one thing I hate about Anastasia palettes is when you're doing reviews, when you have nails, going in there and trying to get your finger in there to do a swatch is a bit of a pain because the pans are so teeny tiny. Next up, this color Soul, which is honestly probably what caught most people's attention because it's a beautiful matte purple going on right there. The one thing I will say about this shade, I did use it today, is it does go on a little bit darker, at least with a primer on. I tend to not set my primer, so it is going on to a more wet, tacky base, and that did definitely make it darker, but it is still very beautiful. Then we have this shade Incense right here, and the shade Love, which is a beautiful pastel purple. These shades, pastel pink. These shades do feel like the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam formula. You can see nice and pigmented, not dipping my finger in too rough there, and they're just so soft, a little bit powdery, but Anastasia shadows are, and I believe most shadows are because it's a powder. Next we have Volatile, right? Volatile, however you pronounce that. Eccentric, which is this shade. This shade is what I look for in neutrals. I mean, this just all the neutrals they provide, just it's so beautiful. And then Passion right here, which is a beautiful like grungy red whatever going on right here. I love how smooth AB8 shadows are. I mean, that one is just it's so beautiful. I have no idea if any of these are like permanent lines. They tend to do that. They're like, oh, it's a single, let's put it in the shadow. There is no blonde fresco or fudge in here, so not sure. But there we have the mattes, as you can see, nice and pigmented. A beautiful, very like rosy toned theme going on through here. Let's get into the shimmers. We have this first one right here, which is just a classic champagne-y color, which is Dreamer. The shimmers feel so amazing. I'm just gonna do this one right up here because I have room and I want to do that. Like, look at that little baby. Look at that little baby. So beautiful. Next we have Summer going on here. Then we have Wild Child, which is what I use. I love Anastasia's shimmer formula when they do it right because it is just this smooth, beautiful, which finger did I use? Smooth, beautiful, and pigmented display of shimmer and shine in the, I want to say, the Subculture palette and the Prism palette. They had some shimmers in there that were pretty stinking chunky. Then we have Rose Gold right here, Celestial, and Dazzling. Y'all can see that right there. Got enough arm space going on here. I mean, they just glide like butter. Just a teensy weensy little and look. And then last but not least, we have Drama, which out of all of them is the roughest. That's pretty normal with the dark to whatever light going on here. But rough or not, she still delivers. So here we have all the colors from one shimmer to matte to all the shimmers. Woo! Now let's get to talking about my opinions on the palette, the color theory, the pigmentation, blendability, all that jazz. Alright, first things first, one thing that I want to point out that kind of eased my mind really well is when I saw these shimmers in person, like when the palette arrived to me, I was like, those ones look a little chunky, they look like they're gonna not have nice pigmented, not be smooth and buttery, but they are just like the shimmers in the Soft Glam palette and the Modern Renaissance, which is like my end-all be-all shimmer formula, where it's just like, it's like a cream, but it's a powder, and it's super pigmented, and it's beautiful and amazing, and they don't play, you don't need to wet your brush. I was very happy that these were all shebang bang, and they weren't chunky, nasty, or nothing. Now, I will say, and it may be just me, we're talking color theory story here, you get one amazing purple matte, which is great. I love this purple. It's beautiful. And it could be because maybe my skill level or my creativity isn't as high as some others might be. I wish she had included more purples. Like, we have this one which is pretty dark. If we could have had like another one that was even darker and then like a lighter one to kind of give us, like we have these beautiful neutrals which you can see very obviously. You start out with this one and then you deepen it up, or you start with this one and you deepen it up. They're just very cohesive. And then you have this purple that's kind of like, hey, what's up? It's kind of just like in there because it's really pretty. And because of that, this palette definitely suffers from that pop effect where they have this palette, which it is beautiful, don't get me wrong, it is beautiful, and then they throw in this one color, boom, this one really unique and eye-catching color. That's the one that really draws you in to that one color and not necessarily the palette on a whole. In my personal opinion, I do wish there were more mattes. This is exactly the way that a Lorac Pro palette is formulated. You got the top and the bottom, the shimmer and the mattes. Just because I like a lot of mattes. I used to be nothing but shimmer, but now as my eyeshadow experience desire has grown, I tend to like a lot more mattes. I wish that maybe they had made this purple Celestial a matte once again, or if they had made also this color right here, Drama, a matte. I think that would have made the palette a bit more user-friendly and give you a bit more option for more looks. I obviously went very simple today because I really wanted to use that purple shade, and I do plan on doing a tutorial on using this palette for you guys, so we'll definitely get a little bit more interesting in that. Quality-wise, It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's Anastasia after the whole subculture drama. They were like, okay, let's get our crap together and let's actually make a consistent formula, which we have seen in the soft glam and this. So I definitely will not knock it formula-wise. The mattes are very pigmented. There is one little thing, and it may be because of the way that I prime my eyes. Like I said, I do a liquid whatever, I use the NYX whatever, and then I blend it out, kind of buff it out with my beauty blender. I don't like set it with powder or a really light shade. I just like to go in with the color I want this section to be. And I did find that it was just a little bit, just a bit patchy, and I had to, it blended very nicely, but you had to add a fair amount of shadow to get it to the opaqueness that I wanted. That could just be from the way that I do my primer, because I understand it would go on smoother and easier with setting rather than being like sticky whatever primer, especially when you're dealing with a matte. But that is one thing that I noticed with the way that I do my eyeshadow. Do I wish there were more mattes? Yes. Is the quality of it amazing? Yes. So it's kind of like a, you know, half and half going on for me. The colors are not what I would consider revolutionary, though I mean, boom, 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 boom. That's what I look for in neutrals. That rich, almost mustardy with the red and the, just, that is what I look for when I want neutrals. That's just rich, beautiful, delicious color. The shimmers are beautiful. But all in all, if you are drawn to these colors, I would definitely recommend picking this up. Like I said, the quality is what we look for in an Anastasia palette. They did not skip on anything going on there. Smooth, blendable, pigmented, anything you could want from a palette. The packaging is my favorite incarnation of these faux whatever softness going on right here. And I think it's something that's very fun that can take you from the summer with a lot of these bright, intense shades and go right into fall with a lot of the more richer, deeper tones. So this is something I would recommend. It is not a run out and buy because it isn't necessarily anything new, but when is anything new in the makeup industry? I mean, let's be honest, it's all been done before. Alright guys, there we have that review. I feel like a lot of the palettes that I've been reviewing, we've got hit or miss. The Jeffree Star, kind of a miss. Urban Decay, kind of a miss. Violet Voss was yay, and this one is a yay. So we're kind of half and half on some of these spring, summer palettes. Definitely let me know what you guys think down below. If you're interested in this palette, you are totally passing on it. Your thoughts, you love it, you hate it. I love hearing your guys' opinions. Always keep it civil. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!